Canada's bluefin tuna fishery has been around for more than a century. And like the days of old, Canadian harvesters set out with simple gear on modest vessels to try to hook one of these magnificent giants of the sea. But times change, and for Canada's bluefin tuna fishery to become a model of sustainable management, it has had to make a number of necessary adjustments. Today, government, science, and industry in Canada all work together to ensure that tuna stocks will support a thriving and sustainable fishery for today and tomorrow.
We feel that the management measures that we have in place in Canada can serve as an example to other countries. We have a great deal of experience and expertise, and we feel we've implemented an extremely strong management system. Many of the measures could be those that other countries would adopt to improve the overall management and conservation of bluefin tuna. We have measures in place that control the quantity of fish, we control the size of the fish, we're able to track all of the bluefin tuna that's harvested in this country. We know precisely what's harvested, and we take our management measures and base them on solid scientific advice.
Most of our fishing industry, they accept the role of our science, they contribute to the role of our scientists, and I think they see the results.
We recognize that we have to take extra effort to make sure that our fishery is sustainable, and we recognize that this species is kind of iconic. It's one of the largest fish species in the ocean, and as you can see here, it has a lot of public interest. So we feel a special responsibility to make sure that they're well managed and the science is accurate. I think the relationship between industry and science is particularly positive here, and the fishermen are very keen to understand how the information is being used, and it makes them very happy to contribute more to us.
Our view is that you start with the scientific advice and it's fundamental, and if we're not following that at the outset, then we're immediately putting ourselves in serious jeopardy.
Canada's bluefin tuna fishery is sustainable because its comprehensive management strategy is closely followed by its fishing industry and strictly enforced by its government.
Bluefin tuna fishery in Canada, it is a limited entry fishery, which means that there is a limited number of licenses. So the number of licenses is fixed. It's been fixed for many, many years, and there are no new entrants to the fishery. Second point, it's fished through tendon line or rod and reel, which typically is a gear type that has minimum impact in terms of capture of other species.
We're catching individual fish. You know, we fish with 4 lines as a maximum in a directed fishery.
Whenever a fisher goes out to harvest bluefin tuna, they have to have tags on board. We control the tags. All the tags are individually numbered. The fishermen must come in and pay for the tags. They're entered into a computer tracking system. So at any given moment, we know which tags have been issued, who has the tags, which individual number they have. And then once the fish comes into port and it's been caught and has a tag affixed to it, we're able to track that fish and that tag as well from the time it leaves on a truck till it ends up in the marketplace, wherever that might be.
The tag is a necessary process so that only legitimate fish are making it to market.
Every single bluefin tuna landed in Canadian waters is verified by an independent dockside monitor. They record the number of fish that have been caught, the individual weight of these fish, their tag number, and other vital statistics. All this information is entered into a database that is accessible in real time to fisheries managers, scientists, and enforcement officers.
The big thing is knowing what boats are out there, who's fishing, who's not, who's coming in, who's going out, what are they bringing in. We should see exactly on the boat what they've hailed in.
Maintaining an enforcement presence throughout Canada's bluefin tuna fishery is one of the main ways to ensure its sustainability. This includes both open and covert operations.
We feel the at-sea surveillance program is a very important part of our monitoring, control, and surveillance program. We want to be on the water where the fishery is taking place. We want to be verifying the activity at the time the fish are being caught. So we take this very serious. We patrol about 120 days a year, and those are to ensure that the rules are abided by. When we're conducting our patrols, we're looking for a number of different things. We'll be looking to ensure that the fisherman is licensed, he's authorized to be there, that he's following the conditions that are set out in that license condition. We'll be checking whether or not the fish is of the proper size, that it's tagged, that his logbook is completed as required. We patrol in all types of weather. We face many challenges at sea trying to conduct enforcement in that area. In this region, we fly about 300 missions a year. We have state-of-the-art equipment aboard. We can do low-light video photography, regular photography, low-visibility photography, even if it's foggy. We're able to track through radar the movements of these vessels. So we have a very elaborate aerial surveillance program, and I would say probably one of the top aerial surveillance programs in the world. The rules are in place to manage the fishery in a sustainable manner. Having strong penalties ensures that fishermen follow the rules, and if they don't follow the rules, that there's a very substantial penalty for doing that.
Our industry has made considerable sacrifices over the years to contribute to this rebuilding plan, and the compliance with the management plan, the input into the development of the management plan is strong, but at the same time I think that Canadian fishermen are perhaps getting a little bit impatient. They look across the entire Atlantic and see the measures that are in place in other countries and other jurisdictions, and certainly expect Canada to advocate very strongly that those measures be put in place for all bluefin tuna.
It's pretty hard to catch one tuna or a tuna here and not have it reported. As over there, I think somebody made a quote over there, when we see that we are getting over the quota, we will take steps to do something. So, you know, they don't take it very seriously over there.
We're very concerned that the fishery in the Eastern Atlantic and the Mediterranean is not under control, and the harvest levels that are being set are beyond the scientific advice, and the catch levels are beyond the quotas that are being set.
I think that hurts us immensely, like all the, running over quotas by double and getting away with it. We're right to the fish pretty much on our quotas and catching them all rod and reel. I mean, there's no damage to any other fish. What you catch is what you get. There's no dead discard, none of that kind of stuff.
We want to make a living out of this, and we certainly want to see our sons and our grandsons doing the same thing.
To properly manage a fishery such as tuna that swims across and throughout the Atlantic, you need international cooperation, and you've got to have an organization that oversees the management. Fortunately, the mandate is good to conserve the tuna species in the Atlantic Ocean. Unfortunately, not everybody follows the rules. So the fact that not everyone has proper monitoring, control, surveillance, and not everyone ensures that people follow the rules doesn't mean that we should simply walk away. I mean, our aim is to, one, make sure that we properly follow the rules, and two, with our partners, try to instill that in others. We've always lived by the motto that we can't go and preach to others if we're not prepared to make sure we live by the same rules ourselves.